manera de recordatorio, no tomar fotos con flash y luz de video antes de llegar a nivel.
Everybody's trying to tell me cameras like they're recording.
Is this the Titanic ride?
Welcome to a voyage of discovery and awareness of the richness, the diversity, and the often surprising nature of living with the land. Our journey begins as dramatic and sudden changes are sweeping over the land. The approaching storm may seem violent and destructive to us, but to nature, it's a new beginning in the cycle of life.
Can we have some silence, please?
Sorry.
Tony, you should see this low light, man.
Nothing's gonna happen after this.
Beneath the surface of the land, roots trap water from the flowing mud, extracting precious nutrients and minerals. These elements, when combined with sunlight, create the diverse living systems of our planet.
You see my little one.
I see it.
Hey, it actually is pretty good.
It is.
You guys are having like a radio podcast with your family.
One of those living systems is the rainforest, home to the most amazing concentration of life on our planet. These dense and beautiful forests cover only a tiny portion of the Earth's surface, but they contain more than half of its plant and animal species. Rainforests are also extremely rich and productive living systems, providing us with oxygen, food, medicines, and other elements essential to our lives.
Oh my God, lucky an alligator.
Just want to go swimming in that. Like I really want to. I'll lay down.
In the desert, nature has created a very different, but no less beautiful living system. And while this arid landscape may seem lifeless, it is very much alive. The plants and animals that have learned to survive in these harsh conditions make use of what little water they can find and avoid the scorching rays of the relentless sun. The American prairie once appeared as desolate as the desert, but over time, rainwater and nutrients gradually penetrated the hard surface of this land. Even the hooves of the mighty buffalo helped create the rich soil that would one day become home to the American farm.
Tell me about
Wow, way to ruin it.
Such a spoiler alert.
Last time we rode
Those are not cute.
there was this kid in front of us, and
I think they're buffalo.
is that real? Is this real? And I'm like, are you going to
Your life is a simulation.
If you look over there, you see.
Of all the forces at work on the land, humans have had one of the most profound effects. The need to produce food for a growing world led to the enormous use and sometimes overuse of the land. In our search for more efficient ways to grow food, we often fail to realize the impact of our methods. Today, we're learning to live with the land, discovering better ways to grow food that will assure both human and environmental well-being.
Next year they're going to show a video of me. Just because it's becoming ever so popular and legalized.
In farmlands across America, we're learning that by plowing under vegetation containing natural fertilizers, we can enrich the soil without the use of chemicals. In Saudi Arabia and Mexico, we're learning to produce food on desert seacoasts by developing and planting crops that thrive on salt water.
There's unicorns. Those are unicorns on the park. They could be hidden on
How
the
will
park.
we meet tomorrow's growing needs for food production, yet still respect the needs of the land? Some of the answers are being discovered just ahead. To help us maintain these carefully controlled ecosystems, and for your safety, please remain seated in your boat at all times.
What you did. This is what you did. What did you do? What did you do? I said, let's be. What did you do? Everything.
It's the ship at Epcot.
Welcome to our living laboratory, where scientists from Epcot and the U.S. Department of Agriculture are exploring innovative ways to produce bountiful harvests now and into the future.
Look at the orchid tree. I want one of those.
The tropics are home to the greatest diversity of plants on the planet. Many of these, like papaya, bananas, cacao, coffee, and rice, are well known around the world. These are just a few of the edible plants that have been an important source of nutrition for people living in the tropics. Many are rich in vitamins and minerals, while others are well adapted to growing in less than ideal conditions. Some, like the water lily, thrive in wet, swampy areas and waterways. All parts of this plant, even the flower petals, are edible. The starchy root of the plant has long been used to make flour for baking.
It's all red in the next one.
One day, many of these lesser-known tropical plants may be as important as the bananas growing on both sides of the boat.
It's not pumpkin.
More than 28 million tons of bananas are eaten annually, making it the most popular fruit in the world.
Banana plants.
Oh, yeah. You might already told us. You told us that.
Well, I think this thing does better when you just leave it alone and put it in auto.
Oh, you know.
Than messing with it.
When we mention farming, you probably don't think of fish, but fish farming, or aquaculture, accounts for nearly half of all the seafood consumed globally. Tilapia, bass, and catfish, like the ones you see here, are two of the most popular crops raised by fish farmers. The sustainable system we're using here recycles the water in the tanks. As a result, we're able to save millions of gallons each year. Our small fish farm produces nearly 5,000 pounds of fish each year to serve in restaurants around Walt Disney World. Innovations like this can play an important role in our efforts to produce bountiful harvests and still protect natural resources.
Tony and Lisa, there where's your sushi?
While there are more than 50,000 edible plant species in the world, most of us are only familiar with the handful that make up our everyday diet. The common grains growing here, wheat, maize, sorghum, and millet, plus rice, account for nearly 2/3 of our global food consumption. Learning how to increase yields of these staples is an important goal of research around the world.
There's a lot of hidden Mickeys on this one.
On your side.
You just gotta keep on AI on. Found one.
You guys like this, Ryan?
You gotta keep an eye on them.
These
When it's
plants are
120
definitely on their way out. Innovative growing techniques like these increase yields while more efficiently using resources like water, fertilizer, and pesticides. Another innovation at work here is our integrated pest management program. By populating our greenhouses with beneficial insects that prey on harmful pests like aphids and flies, we are significantly reducing our reliance on conventional pesticides. We're growing these crops using our nutrient film system. This technique precisely controls and recycles water and nutrients. With it, we can produce over 27,000 heads of lettuce a year in this one small area.
The Sony A6500 has a flip-up screen like
This is
this,
Epcot.
but the hot shoe is right there, so people like you can't see anything. I love it.
Some of our best ideas have been inspired by nature, like these fruit and vegetable trees. By growing these ground plants vertically, we can increase yields and better control diseases. These crops taste as good as they look. In fact, we serve more than 15 tons of produce from our greenhouses in restaurants here at the land every year.
Because it's tomatoes.
Oh, by the way, we got the whole boat to ourselves. All 9 of us.
Tomatoes. 9.
Yeah. That's what I said, Lisa. I was there when I said it.
I thought you said 8.
We got
Let's
some
rewind to see if I said that.
Hold on. What's going on?
Wait, we're
Tony doesn't know how to count.
Oh.
I said it.
1. Lucky, can you tell him how to count him? 1.
We got cameras galore.
The future
Matt,
of
show me what
agriculture
work went
may
down
include
there.
innovative ideas like this vertical growing system. Plants grown in this way use a fraction of the space required by traditional growing methods. That saves water and increases production. The aquaponics system on your left combines hydroponics with aquaculture. The fish provide a natural source of fertilizer for the plants, and the plants help keep the water clean for the fish. It's another great way to produce more while using less.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
In our lab, Epcot scientists are working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture on a number of innovative projects. The goal of these efforts is to produce higher yielding and better quality plants.
What is that?
Oh, it's getting dark.
I think we're almost done.
Yep, almost.
Behind the scenes.
About anything? Yeah, I did that.
I want to do it again. You want to do it now?
I got 3 cucumbers last time I went on it.
It's just the end of the night.
I feel like eating a garden salad right
And
now.
ranch. No, we didn't get ranch.
Doesn't it give you...
We just came from sweet tomatoes. I don't want to eat salad.
Tomatoes.
No, it's tomatoes.
These greenhouses represent just a fraction of the work being done worldwide to produce bountiful harvests for our growing population. Scientists, farmers, and even backyard gardeners are doing their part to improve the quantity and quality of foods that we all rely upon. Together, we can continue to find more ways to increase food production and protect our precious natural environment. Only then will we truly be living with the land. On behalf of Walt Disney World, we hope you've enjoyed this unique journey through our living laboratories.